Right now, we are live on Adom TV, Sanso Asempa 94.7 FM. The discussion is getting hotter. Off air, Krana argument, you know. But lawyer, the issue of Techiman South. Off air, now you raise questions. Say, yeah, the Techiman South vote na.
Yes.
Eka candidate Muhammad it won't change anything.
Yeah.
That's
Sana Mamino Kai.
Sana Mamino.
And Yanso, ya confirming figures. And ya calculating who say, would it take him and 128 no come pay? Nana do be 49.9. Winning the India Casa.
But how sure were we say the Chiman South vote in Akrano? And can Yamubina will candidate Muhammad Binyani?
And candidate Mamino or gazetted those figures. Because as we sit here, no, some figures in a Mamino widen were gazetted into CI 135 now am year President Kufuado, President no. Some figures in the age. In the some figures in the age, my dear, yes, in another you mistake, President, because we're never the number.
All right, quick response. Yeah.
Oh, say, Asema area,
ministerial vetting.
There is an equitable maxim. That says, he that seeks equity must come with clean hands. That's what I say. It is a wo, oko court, oko pe. Now, pe no, a general assumption say, adia we nyano, ye de kahoma wa, it miti obi vote so a buffer.
Assumption saying.
Because that's what you're saying.
No,
no. At the time
we are talking about the law.
Yeah, we are talking about the law.
The
but
law
this
is
no,
135. So speak to 135. No, speak to 135.
But that's what I'm speaking to. No. At the time of declaration, I don't make it a statement.
Right.
But who go court? No, sir. No, sir. You see, I think I'm a man the equity. You see, I think I'm a man equitable maximum. No, please. I think I'm a man equitable maximum. Oh, you are. You must.
I want to ask a simple question. At the time of going to court,
now we need the money.
Oh, hold on. Of course, we need the
what they can say.
Number. But at the end, because of your constitution.
Yes.
We need to be Kurana. None near our constitution when need the Edma. Mamma Ashemra, Timmy, ye. And then you mean Mamma Ashemra. I'm a CI 135. The calculations is referred to 9th December. And so she could have waited, say, the next day, no. The German South, no, the account, no. But the can say, Sadia, Mamma Montimacan say, Gazette no yen 135, by CI 135, no. Some random mistake. Then we will now accept.
You see,
logic no. That's simple. Which one is the law?
CJ.
No, which one is the law?
The other corrections are your friend say EC4 and 2 Jano. What is the effect?
I don't put a West.
Oh, that Tobo. I say a Bisan say at the time Babanya to us say and yet and don't put a West and don't put a West now can let you.
Okay.
Medical choice say oh pepe ya. I was a one kasa onyama wo ye na eye pepe. It will court. Na so si obi aye mfum so a. Say na penny for ye fum ko a ye mfum dwa. It will court no. Wo de wo se wa ho de ne say si e di vote ni nyina ka wo de ho a eti obi de so. Meanwhile at the time no unim de wunyae. Wo de sa wo jitu so say a mistake a. Adentina no witness.
Me no ma so di correction.
My friend no AC one of the yanko ministerial vetting no so madaroma
and come the new figures no ma tell me a West bra I no West bra
and West
ministers designate I hold one mo ekopie one mo anim ti honorable Kwakwajima menu ekopie anim honorable ya Duchom honorable Dominic Nitu honorable Matthew Poku Prempe honorable Sechi Mensa Bonsu na enra Attorney General and Minister of Justice designate lawyer Godfrey Dame yabako share video na asembisa committee no ebisa no on nienti a one person one prosecute honorable Inusa Fuseni se wakoka se abato onu achi senka ono ne mampani mahama enka ebikura wa form the para government anase bibia etisa na emomo no sansam ne atibida every mpanifo bi to say honorable candidate Dapon enso so no ono no de no yanya ne hwe yakohwe saa asembisane anu yie no ewo the vetting committee of parliament yaba aba be the vetting proper yaba
the former colleague of this house, senior colleague of this house for that matter, the Honorable Nnawotwe Yi, who, in the exercise of his free speech after the election, said that in his personal view, if he was President Mahama, he would have declared himself winner and announced a government. As we speak, you are prosecuting Nnawotwe Yi under Section 207 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960 at 29. You have charged him for what you say is, or what the law says is a breach of an offensive conduct conducive to breaches of peace, if I'm to be specific. At that same time, another member of this House, the Honorable Kennedy Ejapong, publicly stated, which was widely reported, and actually threatened to burn down the house of our flag bearer, the former President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and the house of Bevlola Te, Asiedin Ketia, and other NDC bigwigs. Unlike Nnawotwe Yi, he's not been invited, he's not being prosecuted. Are you not exercising your discretion in a whimsical, capricious, and arbitrary manner, contrary to Article 296B of the Constitution of Ghana, on these two matters?
I will be very grateful to know the date on which the prosecution of Mr. Nnawotwe Yi commenced.
Nnawotwe Yi tells me his next court appearance is the 22nd of February.
No, when the prosecution was commenced.
I will have to check that. I would have to check that.
I was inquiring about this because my term as Deputy Attorney General lapsed on 6 January 2021. And after 2021, I ceased with Deputy Attorney General. To date, I have no lawful mandate in the office, and therefore I could not have been involved in the prosecution of Nnawotwe Yi. My former boss, Madame Gwekufu, also the same. Her term lapsed on that day. Perhaps the prosecution is being done by the police. I wouldn't know.
The Fees and Charges Act, you're a senior member of this House, requires that the $150 should have been brought to this House for approval. It wasn't brought to this House. The Health Institutions and Facilities Act 2011, Act 829, requires, under the first schedule, Section 11.2, that clinical and biomedical laboratories must be licensed before they operate. When they started operating on the 1st of September, I have obtained the certificate from the Health Institutions, Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, known as HEFRA. They only licensed them on the 3rd of November 2020. So by the time they were operating at the airport, human lives were at stake. They had not been licensed. Minister of Health, are you aware of these clear infractions of our laws?
Honorable Chair, in the pandemic, we had a phrase we were using that we were not in normal times. There were certain things that we had to do and try to rectify and find out that this hasn't been done. And I said, no, quickly, let us go and rectify the anomaly before things get worse. So when people are dying and people are flying and people want to visit wives and husbands and they can't go, and we needed to open the airports, and we had to put in place something immediately for them to be able to be screened to try to stop importation of the virus into our country. Honorable Chair, I must admit that some things might have done.
Couldn't Nnawotwe have done that?
You know, no normal instance, and that is why we have this. Somebody is bringing you money. You go and ask him, where did you find the money?
Earlier in your answer to the Frontier Health Care Services Limited at the Kotoka International Airport, did I hear you say that that services was procured by the Presidential Task Force on COVID?
Yes, I did say so.
Are you a member of the Presidential Task Force on COVID?
Yes.
So if you are a member of the Presidential Task Force and you were going through this contract, are you saying that you didn't know the details of the contract that was being given out or that was being done?
Honorable Chair, the Presidential Task Force was actually started by me from the ministry, the early stages of the onslaught. I said I was creating an inter-ministerial committee. But then the first 2 meetings I called, my colleagues wouldn't come. So I told the president that he should take over that inter-ministerial committee to enable us to engage. And that created the Presidential Task Force. Okay. Then the task force, a very large thing.
I don't dispute that. I mean, was the task force was going to embark on an health
project? We had separate functions for separate groupings and committees within the task force.
And are you telling this committee?
And there was created
our minister, if you let us have a conversation that those listening to us and we in the committee can follow, it will be useful. And you are telling this committee that as a minister for health then, and they were procuring a health service at the airport, you were not in the known?
Yes.
Is the Presidential Task Force on COVID an entity?
Where entity means?
Where they can procure. Because you know it's only an entity that can procure. You've been the former chair of the Public Accounts Committee.
No.
So how did they procure if they were not an entity?
They did that in collaboration with Ghana Health Service.
So are you then suggesting that it was Ghana Health Service that front the procurement of this service at the airport?
To interrogate that matter.
When you say you interrogate, what does that mean?
I'm not very privy to the initial stages of procurement. When I got, they finished arrangements with it, and they came to my notice. I was more interested in getting the facility set up and providing port health officials to man the facility. That is when I came in. I didn't go back to interrogate these matters to the extent that you want me to answer. And that is why I'm saying that I have to get back to interrogate.
Okay. Earlier, you also said that this group didn't even have a license. You have to encourage them to go and register. Is that right? Yeah, so when they were registering, did you bother to find out their nationality?
No, please.
And after, subsequently, when they were operating and there was a lot of press conferences and noise by Ghanaians or protests or complaints by Ghanaians, as the health minister, did you pay attention to the press conference or the complaints that Ghanaians were making with regards to their operations at the airport?
Yes, I did. And that has resulted in the reduction of the fees for at least ECOWAS citizens.
The nominee proved to this committee that ex-President Muhammad Ba's people to the Independence Square and paid them to fake collapsing during the SHS placement.
No, I can't.
Does the nominee therefore think that in his inability to prove this before this honorable committee, he owes the ex-president an apology for that?
No, I don't. Mr. Chair, I actually said that I'll use different words, and I do regret. I said
it. Honorable nominee, just you see, withdraw and apologize if you cannot prove it, and then we make progress.
Oh, Honorable Leader,
so
you did say, and you asked me to do something, I did it.
And I said,
yes, if those words I used hurt him, I do withdraw and apologize for it.
Right, near a course so our vetting committee. Adwuma omadi na otwe mu nyina na ohwe bi nti wohwe ya mpanifo ahodo a omakopie abadwakuo no anim na the course so ya di bi eche on ti Honorable Kwakwajima Menu Honorable Matthew Poku Prempe any mom keka ho but my baba me sha se afi so far appearances are the various ministers designate one more ameki vetting committee we impression at the say sha se free amom di kan one afi emfa mewi enra
I think that generally no starting from the first person Ajima Menu.
Yes.
I mean we all know him. I think that he did well. It's just that there are certain few answers on Maya. It may not be completely accurate. So I must say. For example, I can say, or no, or didn't call airport. Nema omuyo hono. Enuntina ema thesis it cannot be correct because the same government ama say ECOWAS actually say West African win and yenti o mde no zuma nto no kasa no nani o de call ontina yetiswa it cannot be accurate because it's the government who told us that me manko ECOWAS so advance
but it's likely to say bia on only initiative and you know
that is not what he told us. We work with evidence or see because Mr. Todineni ko no me ni ko ho na say dey na no say entina ma yetiso or can say oh me could they call ECOWAS etiswa that would be correct. So but so no. There's two different things. Mommy and clear. Me tell say no generally but that particular to because some few answers go ankoni. Near to me you so it's about in fact when you look at those who follow the special Kenda party of course he's a man.
But on the health minister his response to Kotoka International Airport contract and what's the response?
It was very bad, in bad taste. I was trying to avoid it, but it was in bad taste because clearly it is violations of the laws. So I must say, and I don't want to go into the details of it, but it is clearly in bad taste. Well, that man is a nice person, I mean, hardworking. I know him. I had many opportunities in the age more parliament, so I know him. Now, all of them have done well. One person who I always think that he did well was Duchum. Duchum.
Yes.
I mean, he's a fantastic guy. He's a good guy. I think that he's hardworking. It's just that he should also be careful the way he's pushing too many American policies into our system. It doesn't always work like that, so he has to be careful. But generally, he's a hardworking guy. I think that he deserves the position. He has done enough to earn him that promotion, and I expect him to do more. So I don't say, maybe he's over to my mom. I am treat. Maybe I'm a profana no watch me. Why? I say court in Chama profana ya. They are no watch me. But indeed, one also say oh yeah. So I don't say. Oba we na pose yes na po. Enti na see a cancer bi na ye hwene. Na simbia na sebe wo ye pani a wo kaka from the moment we be leader I was so hunu say na catch the wa enya wo de no man kan kire wo ni tina nsem bi wo ya kan we are measured once na nsem once be bia copy say mbisa nsa se ma wo kati ajo mahama no no krana when to be improve you see we am apa hocho because on when him say nsem bi wo kati ajo mahama no sana nya no kra and kati an sana they say what could peace. They say because over parliament in India you are speaking on oath. You got to go oath. That's the way they say. We didn't say no chantra. You maybe a friend of perjury. You did be there. You be chero. Maybe to me do akutum. Inti anu di inti sema iko di usuni ekeka na penny kana. Radio obi okase bia no hwini because there can be a day of accountability. So that must say. Inti emi de say ono akogya tuma asese wa de wapa hocho. And then finally, Godfred Odam. Only no. I want to say double standards here can. War system. And no be na copy no. Second day Japan can send you Krimo. In my view, Grana a worse. Okase or ye court. Good court any mas you Krimo. One account. I've seen them. Owie eno say oboni penum di me ka ho o so ba be shimi fie me ameti ɔse me esi edum ketia akamba John Mahama never for ɔse baba be share they will deal with us and so that is honestly arson threat of arson and I'm boa so obi etime gina waye yamfo se mekum we me yesi machine fie me yesi after now onam ho hwento no waye court hwento no wa threat amamfo hwento no odi obi bibi chatre we TV so enu na watching the back you kum hwanya no men kasa odi no hofo but at least we should have seen something running but we na ansi na obi hwe me na wo kase wonim se na nanse ya me ko beli nkwada mienu Facebook obi tro se obi o tro se obi ku
Supreme Court judges now.
The Supreme Court judges no. Ono wose obeku Nana Akufo-Addo mama no. Woni nkuro bi o hye kintampo kura. Ana o hye na kura baby na jama sabe. Menim so dimi ye na dey na o de to Facebook. National Security Commission na hino e di no fi ho de be share National Security. Odimu e ko be na o twemi no miensa. Na me Adom na etimi command be no. Me na me ko gina se na I'm the lawyer for them. Boy ba kun so osunyane the same thing. National Security ko eko fa no e di no be yeden e betuli mu ha ano so dem sa ankopie ne so ankoguso twere me no ka sei nkrofofo bi o yesi o makɔhye military atade o John Mahama ko ho no obi kura se on o hye trouser obi so jacket we no nipa 4 ya chi won ni o ye di plane fa on fi tamale ye chi won di on ba boga from Boko to Boga to Tamale ni di plane fa on ba kra o ma se military atade keko so be twiri mu o so man to aba because we went to
it in our be seen say
it is a name you know so say na sambe no kan so no de na dwumu de ka John Mahama
undeclared
no president
na unformed parent
government men ka say no kan ne so that but outwe ni system you no sense no so a ye ni ba kwa nu nya ba ko nti se ne we kan ne nya dia na we nsu no kan no so nya den enya nti na ngi ntitom na oma no per yo nya den emrem na so obi post Facebook ka ke the player fanaba no obi oti ha no e kan yo that so as obi brom raso o kurimu me o ka so bekumi me responsible man say na nkofo ne kuto obi anko ana me boa utam so there we den obeden obeko ba wo so won tran wi ase nkyere bo na ebi obeba no na me my senior ono ho
but lawyer response our demand committee no me chair lawyer Godfrey Dame say onya where say prosecution we cry coso on the Yunus Afuseni matter but ono na dwem na bia na police for na omo handle matter no at his level
mo yen kire mre no no bia ntia sese police ni bia bon so gina court or prosecution no oye no e di ma attorney general na amma mo ho kwan emre mu no anka osenka attorney general timi di lawyer court bia am fi attorney general but unfortunately say bia lawyers doesn't you must senior policeman the police ni bia na koyo your senior police or level bia o say udu answer what me start prosecution so that matter the mom training no mo your prosecution especially local nkura na say police for na prosecution they are doing it on behalf of the attorney general into most of them assembly biba na say omo nya sure na omo dey so omo dey ba attorney general na attorney general head ama o advice into be odu case court say o you dey quite attorney general you dey quite attorney general because one prosecution omo no attorney general into the we attorney general no obi she bunkrugu obi she kodiabe obi she ekurafita obi she fanchinoko na odi asem wo court bia wo aka ho se wo no di ma into won timi ntrankran enkase no ne obetimi aka say okay maybe me hu docket no so that must say but okay say onya aware na police for na the police department that does prosecution is not dissociated from the attorney general because it is the attorney general they do prosecution on the instructions of the attorney general and that is anything the question okay say obia na and osanka bibi say be that time no na bia onye deputy oni in charge on yeah. Media okay say no so eminya kakra because Ye name say ministers here, you can't so be anywhere. At the end of the day, you might be a temporary stay, and I'm stay for the meantime. I mean, that's how it should run. Because I'm doing Kase. So, bias, those ministers have to hold those positions in the interim until the new ministers will take over. So it is not a new thing. Okay. Say no can ba no so na say ba go bi so be pie ni so de ni na di na chi. Onu na Ghana he na o mu kuta mra no. Okay. No mra mu
issue no e ma me twa me mra me ba. Mama would want to see Hona Fee, Mako Ennison, so then we can look at the ministerial vetting. Now, treat me, dear, as soon as I'm traveling to my bar. You better trust. Okay, Yama Quabio, I feel out the video not one. I'll treat you, my dear, and you will see a day, bro. Yeah, OT and Council, Asempa 94.7 FM. Any lawyer Baba Jamana Fee, Ernest Yakumi, and a Komo. Lawyer Sima, the use of the military. My name 1 minute. That first you on a film called Ernest.
He may say a bus soldier for. No more, you know, a Bible. Say your territories, and I be a problem in sea country. No more, so much the terrorists, you know, anyway. Anything can you put a mining, no good a man. Your person can show leadership. So admire. Send your beya. Ubi emfano nyede enye ashanso de ana esiade. But your situation yen deputy attorney general on ambebia military man in. And we also say we want to discourage militarization of the system. Yen person soldier for I don't know who rules because soldier for there. Abroad how ko baby no soldier. E dim pass over soldier okro. Because omo is special. So what must omo. But he said that I say ye too utia na wona tie so de ni wona no apim so de ni and then we do yen person soldier for omo be share say internal security mu too much because soldier for omo no so omo what must I say unfortunately no yeah turn dem nti omi sa no asem no me mama edu baby no chama na ma oma nkoso mmisa no but at least ne be dey din say military man dey nechi military man dey nechi be infini
but lawyer that practice no ya dey for is it new because it looks like
can say it may not be new but me ni say unima attorney general be na soldier dey nechi e be na minister be ya attorney general and ni leader na ni deputy ya e me retwem no attorney general na me soldier ni dey nechi so won hu bi sa da me dey me hu bi da free Rollins attempt they say soldier by your bar
but anya attorney general per se minister and deputy
bar
so they need nachi ya hu bi da
no the minister be ya sometimes attorney general is the chief advisor of government it is obi yi bibi na boom raso a say wo attorney general no twe president na be member say ade obi yi anya and into the be a cabinet attorney general is a member of the cabinet. But wona ubetufu no. Emrano na wona wodi so je need ochi wodi nenam kru. Okay. Anu ntina so the minister bi kwa na ya na say o minister and the service on there. But attorney general
lawyer me that's it. And my member also na fe yen hwe I mean oma kopie vetting committee na nmu nyina na fe yen fa me wie lawyer go Fredame.
See you back ya mra appointment si by now me ba show ni so Adom FM no they can say o share your Akufo-Addo asudie dane so even in the appointment process na heading esan say yamanyoko ni amanyoko a we have several talent and choosing from the pool of talent in the crown enye easy na wahwehwem no wayiyi mpanifo atisi say omonkoda onaso omonkoye asoafo a o share time odi yi omoni ade a abasoboni e de bono na o hwe nkofo yi omo so ameka say omo nyina nimde na o hwe vet na akoso wo parliament nso a they declarely say sampeni for we mu nyina so no omo nimde me de say utie yi Baba Jama kasa na o san juxtaposing with near course on the floor of parliament na bibie ni wo chese nipa Yeri Akufo-Addo bubo omudin omo ye incompetent and na say baby a de omo to so omo nkoye djuma na say djumadi e de ahye omo nsa no omo ni ho nimde anasa akade omo nyina wo the necessary akade no so na Yeri Akufo-Addo kan there will be one or two things you may not be pleased with but nyina depending on baby a wote so what I say it's a kobani say bia in the vetting process of one person, maybe a big wasum now Sandipano, office bia, and see ye and dance and 2 years. I mean, clearly, it depends on where you sit. And I need to mean so much say, some of them, mind you, only ministers are, only can serve in the first administration, and almost part 2. Then to me, best serve administration are sacrosanctly, obey 100% right. As the Senate TBN from so, Mark could be betting me about. Then when you say Fatani says, I'm from Sono, and young from Swa, a border on integrity, and I said, to a human sign, and I said, border on competency. It means, Sanya Mama could be Nubina, Bimo Peke from the vetting process in there to be objective and candid. No, me face say normal, and I say it's something that goes. Oh, share yera kwajima menua. Omo mo panel ne so nyina ne omo nim no parliament nya gitu mu say papa no nim de o nim de o hard working yera baba jama so account to so bi nti why ne sefata na kakra metimi akafa obi ti say yera na podie ya yera baba jama kan wansem ne say won say omu sa say nipa okasa na wahwe no ne de obeka. But it is first of all not admittance of guilt. Ne metimi akan say sana ono akan the person onipa ne kasa old so na Bible say emra misana na wosana misikasa unyi nso a wosana osikasa. Sometimes we share the bia wa bedu na we share position e dey kra wo na ehun hia so ba betina public abetwetwe nsem aka say oh man can na say me can fe na me ko fa dance is not necessary. It was show baby o tene ne kasa mu ni ade a nyame de be bona baso rather ne say contrary to the public opinion, you must say, oh, or you're arrogant, or more than that. Watch it, you know, so you're arrogant. I must say, Tristan, watch your son, what patch your workers to me, I think it's okay. So what I say, and to contrary to the suggestion, you titi wo and change, so you run up on what they are not saying, no. What show clearly says, answer me, and because what this or the pride need be beer to change, actually, I'm not saying. To me, that is maturity. Okay. And he deserves to be commended. Okay.
May I announce my phone lines now, member? 0302211701, 0302211702, 0302211703, and 211704. Ofra abodin baby afre fi. Bomodi ansa obedwum TV no, ana abetwe ho afri hu kra na radio no a utie yen e wo so no. Enti phone lines no ma activity Ernest.
Yeah, enti Metimaka say, I mean, that is the husband. And Dr. Duchum, the union, and no, made a be a Mekasoshan in him, the war, and then how even various countries now they chase after the knowledge in terms of educational sector. No? So I'm almost setting up on educational structures in there. See, I'm making use of such knowledge. Now, you're higher so my name is so far, no, so be anti me, because me, I'm Rami time of feeding, so me can say. He's one of the persons or the Yera Damboche money and they can appointment excitement. I'm not really surprised about his performance at the vetting committee. Asana Yera got further damage. So what you say Unimra, you see, Sana Mekana. Niamam Yenubi Kofube Bisa, for instance, Osha case ya Umbisa about Yera Kennedy Japan and Inusa Fuseni Asemi. Clearly, it has answer on my Obisa date no, and the essence of the date ni say that time no na onye swafo and onye swafo no so no oni onye swafo ni nti oni sa asudie ni say obetimi
manya ofrefo bi wa homa no so hello good morning
TJ nyame atubie nka wano pe
enka so udi no bi akasa free
TJ mpacho Obama ni de kasa free to home
Obama yintie o
meni ande di kama membo ne wabedwafo abaso titru NS ya okuni meni a ma membo o mangana so abaso papa na nenka Supreme Court asingaka CJ bisa lawyer baba jama say Mr. Tama mo call Supreme Court ese de kita ko ya witness a put na box ni mo no tama electoral commission lawyer etutu na no o man calculate na o calculate ye no ono a catch Supreme Court say o man pene ku for vote no nya o cross 50 plus what you say and lawyer baba jama eto ka say friend say Supreme Court no mo ko ye no figure na do nya no we nya 50 plus what you it never say o man ka no credit o mo phone because course one on one no e be like say one thing can no credit o mo phone it won ko enforce o be there o me ka tell mo for secondly open but no e ko strong room economic 3 hours. Adding, we press agent 2, and I'm waiting about institutions. Not what President Mammy, Yemensa office, economic 3 hours. Now I say, oh, Pastor, a woman or my penny that I joined the one man. Okay. Now I say, who did you want to switch out?
Obama, Medase, Obama, also with me for 0302 211701224. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Whiny.
Dr. Nnawotwe UCC.
Dr. Nnawotwe kasa friend.
Dr. Nnawotwe UCC.
UCC. Okay, Doc, ain't you? Hello, Doc, ain't you?
Yeah, University of Cape Coast.
Doc, Jomo TV no na see me waha. Why?
Okay, yo, Medasi.
Ain't you?
Good morning.
Hello, Doc, ain't you?
Maybe say, the lawyer, NDC representative.
Lawyer Baba Jamal.
Yeah. The figures are not all man. At that 9th, no. And I'm a person who said they all can ask a woman paper. A chance will be in 50
plus
1 now. Bet me a declare Nana a president. Now I did change figures for the buy. And then at that 11, and now I'm figures me now normal gazette. Person who say such figures normal usual. Still no obi entering cross 50% plus 1 nana. That's a woman say you see a mistake there. Now so nana and also a president. And encourage here say still I'm the assembly court because easy I mistake. Because and yes I know man a draggy and progress no back. It is a obedi ni sika cry boni na obe invest here. And your my cost system no one into obe pese obe hold on for some time.
Okay, Dr. Nnawotwe Medasepa lawyer jotting it down. Obema quick response. Mention say for be aba ahoma so na men kind message. Okay, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Minia.
Yeah, Whiny.
I'm the John. Me Kasafi, the Republic of Sekwa.
Okay, John, you.
I'm say this disease of equalization. Meaning, can this form court for this election petition because MPP for continue say now equalization. Okay, vetting process of Parliament here. We quiet. We can say intimation can be. And then if we can cure that disease of equalization, can I help you now to it? All
right, so Medase, few of your comments on social, on Facebook, Nafi Yakoye Nim, we say, as the Supreme Court judges are just putting the national interest first in the performance of their constitutional duties, I hope the NDC members in Parliament and those on the appointment committee will equally put the national interest first by doing the needful by rejecting some of Akufo-Addo's nominees. I rest my case. Regards to lawyer Francis Sosu, MP for Madina constituency. Positive change Madina. Dia or de MIA or Facebook. I don't know. Felicia Minta also, please. Why is NDC still vetting the ministers if they know the president didn't win? Felicia Minta, dia. Goddy Mensa Duro or say Akwatia MPP youth movement. We are watching our star boy with his good analysis, but NDC has no case from coach. Also there or they buy I don't know. Phone lines may be offer na ba ebefa. Yes, yeah, for
offer you go further damn contrary to the era of Jamal Kamba soldier for the Yenina Ejitum say is not a good practice. But Emia say Sassim was here can Nanko 4 person would you to say NPP are buying and maybe idea I was running through various successive government.
Attorney General.
Hold on.
No, Attorney General.
Hold on. Mami, come
on.
Mami Tobo. Why are you limiting it to Attorney General?
Yeah, of course, because you're the chief advisor.
Lawyer.
And my of an overcar Mikaira Obajama said, President Mills be dia bemono. O two or more, I was idea, Naira Obajama, what you will be. The foot two or the mom said they should be careful about walking around. Oh, now it will be. Oh, not to what? I know. By idea running to, you see, who person solve the problem. You don't limit it to a person.
Okay, my family last call and nothing. Yeah, me round up. Hello, good morning. Okay.
So it won't me limited for okay. When him say, yeah, mommy, later. There's a picture. So you need to kita the shoes near there. When him say Padia na a standogbe. Also no use military driver. So kaso be bossa. And then the man Yera Rollins. Oh that to. And then the man Yera Rollins. Eko can say who born dog.
Oh yeah, Attorney General.
Orebi near friend Ruby Roger or say whatever. I think he knows his name very well. Yera Rollins say the traffic Mr. No test siren. A motorcade. Until he was curious to know. So just a vice president about Kosha. Charlie V8 be na Charlie. Okita sa military assistance oko follow up oko share na padine na take car and my Yera Rollins car who born dog and they idea are running through the system and ye person solve ya. It's about time I nyina discuss issue dispassionately now person personalizing here to say Yera go Fredo dami and ako use military into a boom raso and there be and sometimes based on the threat nipa ni face Yera Obajama nim say that specific assignment can be made. I'm not Yera a Kandapa Kotina vetting committee name. So I say all can say even journalists ninkophobia on sometimes so munya challenger omutimi assigning military protection based on the threat Nipano FAC. So when you do that vulnerability assessment now decide they say oh nipa sumesi and they name kwa eda kwa so now face a military ni betimi assist police normal and I don't think it's bad but there was a yenya and say a confining military to the baraza. It's something that we must make sure say a bind be a bar be sacrosanct.
But I say Walanyo in Akwetia or say the question can't go unanswered. What's the result NDC collated during the presidential election so that we can compare to the EC's final result? Criticizing the Supreme Court's decision is equivalent to lack to understand basic law. Can I just call you a thief, then go to court and fail to prove anything, but force you to come for cross-examination because I said you are a thief, so come and defend yourself? Walanyo in Akwetia sensing.
Walanyo issue, display ignorance on matters of law. Because until law na sent your Americans until only display of ignorance on matters of law.
That's unfair.
No, me pata.
Refer to my texter. In the same way, say, me call and I'm a texter.
No. Okay, can we say when people want to make comments? Also, be your comment is the comment maybe minimum dear. And in your come it doesn't.
But that's his opinion. But you cannot say
you can't just express your opinion on anything that you don't have knowledge on it.
Not total. But
in any case, let's go on. Let me proceed.
I think it's because you know me in person.
Yes, because
I want
you to understand. Obi by say calculation na asiedum kete no. If so bia ti asese calculation asiedum yen kete no, no or a witness in the box. Tinia lawyer baby sano and no oka. Enti enye yen ana calculation wo yen petition na no oka. No oka nia, for example, utu say we witness me pato. Utu we witness na because 1 + 1 and then obey. Ubeka say 2. E 2 nso. Enti enye yeah, who calculations will go you.
But say judge ni bisa no
I'm saying we'll come to that.
Okay.
Judge no, I will be saying no.
Yeah.
The next year chachuba no chasema chachu etremo.
Na ne chachu kan na e say irrelevant na e
Of course.
Oh really? So that's your answer. Your answer
is that it is irrelevant.
Okay.
Really?
Because
we have 3 minutes.
Can I finish? Oh yeah, can I finish?
Lawyer, no, 1 minute. Mama,
I agree with Taju that it's irrelevant because it is not before the court.
Judge Nya or Tijoma.
My brother, it is not before the court. That's my opinion that by that question, no, it is not part of the issues. There was no issue at Treasure. Yen calculation issue 5 na everybody know. And who in the Treasure calculation
5 determinants.
There is no
issue also determine as to whether
not to be 1 out of the 5.
No, it's not true. You can read it now. But the moment 5 minutes no
we don't have time. We don't have time.
Whether or not the declaration by the first respondent,
that's right,
for the second respondent as president, no one had 50% plus one.
Who is the first respondent?
That's the Electoral Commission.
So are we the Electoral Commission?
But it's this you to prove that.
Prove what?
Yeah, that is an issue there the court has raised.
So what
and this is a legal issue.
Take your time.
But you said there's no issue. And I've quoted the thing.
What's the first respondent declaration here?
Yeah.
Let us one figures in your
first respondent.
Ernest,
but then you have to use that to
Ernest, 1 minute.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Don't you have to use
that figures?
But why don't you use the figures?
Ernest, 1 minute. 1 minute. Sorry. 1 minute.
I think there's a confusion. Only say or starting the presentation.
Can we say Baba 49.6?
That is not true.
That is not true. Petition.
Comparing that figure to
based on what?
Based on
what?
Based on the declaration.
I don't know. Be so man. I'm confused.
Electoral Commission.
So I use it. And then I'm confused.
I have shown you in our petition.
Have you established it?
Okay. Me that's about. Ernest, 1 minute.
Okay, so starting the presentation, Ubisa the question said. Ubisa the question about these numbers. But not say one so one tiers here. Everywhere I'm beko biano judge Ubisa question judge in tiers here.
Yes.
Once Ubisa one tiers here. Na case how they are called down in court.
You are asking
almost 2 months. No pen and tiers there. Case Papa there no. You see. Case and pen and tiers case Papa there.
Wrong
question.
Yes.
Do not set the question.
But at least I know say he who alleges
must prove. And I also need to say, there are legal issues involved.
He who alleges must prove it. But you
so who has the burden of proof?
Ask the person to prove what he has not brought before you.
Me did the chief Jerry Forsen and me lawyer Baba Jamal. You're a member of the legal team for the petitioners election 2020 petition hearing. And Afei Minia NS Yakumi or a parliamentary candidate for the NPP Akwachia constituency and also Babeka 2020 elections and matter. We did the chief Jerry Forsen. Me Adoma Nnawotwe Sene. Now, Chidum, the best the Abram production team, AC Ohene, Joshua Tigo, Priscilla, my camera sound, Rebecca, Ampedu, Obia, Yawoda Sene, Macau.